It's 6:58 a.m. and I've not slept. The night before I didn't get to sleep till about this time either. And the day before that as well. And the day before that. And I'm only getting a few hours sleep at a time. Recently, a bit ago, I started therapy with a trauma specialist. And I had a new condition confirmed. And it's, even though it's been suspected for a while, it's made things quite difficult. Like, how I feel about myself, my understanding of certain things, and my reactions to other things and stuff like that. It's like a relief to know what it is and why I'm the way I am with some things. But at the same time, it also feels so heavy. I can almost feel it in my back, like my upper back, like this big boulder. And I just feel so raw. Like my heart and my mind is being gone over with a cheese grater. And why is it when everything is going great, when things start to go really well, why is it that all of a sudden other things start to fall apart? Like, say you get a new job and it's got better pay and you can finally get that car you wanted, that like you've been needing and you've really wanted it for so long, and you're finally living in your blessing. Everything you've prayed for nearly your entire life, you finally have it, and it's yours, and it's solid, and it's real. And then stuff in your private life starts to crumble. You get diagnosed with a new illness. Maybe somebody you love who's close to you or part of your family passes away. Maybe something happens to a pet, or things start going wrong at school, or why is it that when everything goes right, everything else in the other part of your life starts to go horribly wrong? Why is it that things can be so good but so bad on the other side? It seems like you can only have it one way. You can only have it good on one side. And then as soon as things start to go better on the other side, the good side starts to crumble and burn to the ground, just spontaneously combust. There's just so much happening. Or, if you're like me, sometimes the good side is in the middle of a wildfire, and the bad side is buried 12 feet under hell. But then God reaches his hand down through hell and down through all the basement pits of hell, and he grabs that part of your life and he pulls it back up, and he fixes it and he heals it and he makes it go right. But then the devil isn't happy that God saved you and God blessed you, so he has to come along and put his hand all the way up and grab the other side of your life and just yank it all the way back down. Why is it that the biggest blessings come with huge curses? Why is it that joy comes with grieving? Oh, I love the Lord so much. And not like because he's, blessed me so much recently, or all the times he saved my life in the past. None of that stuff. It just like it's in me here. It's in my soul. It's in my core. Even before I knew who he was as a little girl, I wanted him and I loved him. And then I remember when I was 5 years old, I was in the city centre with my mum and we're walking down this main street. And it's so noisy and I'm little and everybody's just barging past and their shopping bags and their coats and their heels and their shoes, and there's buskers, and then out of nowhere it's like everything goes quiet. And I'm holding my mum's hand. Everything just goes quiet and peaceful, and it's like everything stops, and like it's like all of a sudden the crowd of people is just gone. And there's one man, and he's standing and he's got one of those microphones, the kind that like Britney Spears used. He's got one of those and he's got some stuff around him, some items around him. And I remember the only words I heard were Jesus is knocking at the door of your heart. Will you let him in? And instantly in that moment, I knew who Jesus was. I didn't grow up with Jesus to that point. I didn't grow up with Jesus at all, really. My mum wanted me to be able to choose. She wanted me to have the freedom. She didn't want me tied to Catholicism, like my family. She wanted me to have complete freedom. And I think that Jesus is the last person anyone thought I'd have run to. But in that moment, as a 5-year-old little girl, I heard that name, Jesus, and I instantly knew who he was. And I wanted him so badly. And I spent so long, like a month, maybe more, looking for like an actual door in my heart. And I never found the door in my heart, and I thought I didn't have a door in my heart because Jesus didn't love me, so he never gave me a door to let him in with. And I was so wrong. And it's taken until I was 31 to officially give my life to Christ. And that was after, like, what? Like a 5-year battle or something to give my life to Christ. Oh, I wanted him so bad, and I fought and I argued, and in my head I was just back and forth, trying to let go of what I believed in at the time. And it was like it clung to me so deeply. It was just like it had these claws in me. And one day I just said, God, creator of the universe, whoever you are, whoever created all of this, who created me, I just want to settle down and have a peaceful life. I want the husband you intended for me. I just want a quiet, peaceful home, my little family, the husband that you made me for and that you made for me. And I will give up my beliefs that I hold right now. And I did. I gave them up that day. And about 2 years later, I was online. I was looking for all these pictures. And suddenly this light came out of my phone, this golden light, and it was so bright. So unbelievably bright. And I got a fright, so I swipe away from the picture. And then a little voice, a little gentle, quiet but clear voice says to me, go back and see what that was. So I go back, and there's not a bright light there anymore. Instead, there's this really beautiful guy. He has beautiful eyes, beautiful cheekbones, these lovely lips, perfect nose. He's actually what I saw, exactly who I saw when I prayed for the husband that the Lord intended for me. There he was. So I reached out to him, we got talking, and that was almost exactly 6 years, well, that was exactly 6 years ago at the end of this month. It turned out that it was his birthday. We met on his birthday. And we started talking, and he waited like 6 months to even meet me in person. Because there was like all the lockdowns and stuff. And then there were so many other battles in my life, like trying to get this place. No, this was another place. This was another time that thing happened where I seen it while I was praying. So I fought for nearly 11 years to get a wheelchair adapted house. I fought so hard. I jumped through hoops that turned out to not even exist, and I fought tooth and nail. And I prayed a few times and nothing happened. And then one day I prayed, and in my head I got this really strong message: read your Bible 3 times, and by the time you're done reading, you'll have your house. So I'm reading my Bible every day, 7 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours more. Sat from morning through to the early hours of the morning, just reading my Bible. Just reading it and reading it and reading it, falling into the stories to the point where I'd stop reading and I'd realize, oh wait, I'm still in my bedroom. And then one day I pray. I said, Lord, when am I going to get this house? When are you going to come through to me? Like, please just be moving the people around that you need to move around for me to get this wheelchair accessible home that I need. And shortly after that, literally a few weeks after that, I was just sitting in my bed. I can't even remember what I was doing. And I get a call. And the woman on the phone says that she has a home for me, and that the occupational therapist has already approved it, and I can move in a few months. And they just need to do some adaptations for me, and it'll all be good. I just need to I just need to confirm what adaptations I'm needing. That I'd gone over with the OT in the first place. And took a bit of work, but that husband that I prayed to God for, and one of his friends and my mum, between them on separate days, they managed to get me my entire apartment moved out and into this house within like 24 hours. Everything, my entire life, just packed up and moved. And there's this in this house, there's this calm and this peace, and it's not got this restrictive, burdensome feeling in it. Every movement isn't an uphill battle mentally and physically. There's not this sense of panic and just a weight. Here's just calm and it's breathable, and there's no coal dust stuck on everything. There's no damp. There's not a gazillion different types of wildlife, mostly beasties, living with me. There's not several different types of mold. I don't have a cupboard that is dedicated purely to black mold that would never go away no matter what we did. But the house that I saw when I made that last prayer, I saw it and I thought, oh, that is a nice house. That's lovely. That's like basically my dream house. And then because I couldn't leave the last place because of the stairs in my wheelchair, my mum did the viewing and she had me on FaceTime. And she walked around with the landlord. And the things that I saw in my vision while I was praying, or what I was seeing as she was walking around doing the walkthrough, just like when I prayed for my future husband and I saw him in that picture. And then not only that, but I was meant to be waiting like nearly a year for a custom wheelchair. And maybe about a few weeks ago, my mum got a call from the wheelchair occupational therapist who's in charge of my case. And she wanted me to come in for an appointment. I wasn't able to come in for an appointment, and they're quite busy. They're very short-staffed with a lot of patients. So they're going to call back. And it can't be an update to see if I need anything else done to my chair, because they'll do that like maybe like every 6 months, every 8 months, maybe once a year they'll call and they'll be like, yeah, can you come in so we can check for like whatever adaptations you're needing to your wheelchair, if you're needing new equipment. But it's too soon for that because I literally just got this chair a few months ago. New chair, new house. All my prayers have been answered. All of them. All of my prayers. My dog's snoring. Literally everything I could ever want. A little peaceful house, my little family, my dogs, my cat, my future husband, people that I love. And all that's it's incredible to be able to leave the house if I need to or want to have a little patio out the back where I can play with my dogs and my cat. A front garden that I can actually get into because it's not on a slope with a bunch of stairs. And a gate that I can't get my wheelchair through. It's technically been made into 2 gardens though, because it's been split for the slope pathway to get my wheelchair in and out. That was done before, like when it was built though. That was before I moved in or anything. That was back when this place was built. And this is like this little post-World War II house. Because I googled this street and stuff, and I read about the history of it. And it even still has like these little hatches and stuff, like the serving hatches for when you had like guests for like a cocktail evening or something. And my future husband, he's painting everything for me. All by himself. He doesn't want any help, he just wants to do it. He's done so many other little bits and pieces. But then everything goes so well and suddenly there's sickness. There's sickness, there's new trials, new tests, new worries. Like recently we all know that I got my teeth fixed. That was another one of my prayers, and that took like 2 years to come to fruition. Yeah, I got my teeth fixed. Well, 3 years actually. I got my teeth fixed. And I'm waiting. I've only got a few months left until I get more impressions taken so that I can get my final denture fitted, because this one's too big. And during all those good things, there's these other things. Things that Satan just has to come and jab his finger into. Poke you between the ribs and sort of like smush his finger about in there. You know, it's like going out for a weekend away to this private beach and it's gorgeous, but then on the way back you get a flat tire, and then it's like there's this hailstorm out of nowhere. And you know, your phones are, everyone who's there, their phones are all dead, and the one person that has like 1% left in their phone, they have no signal. I got this amazing new site. She's been working since I was literally a baby. Like literally since the year I was born, she's been working as a specialist. And she doesn't look like old enough to have been working that long. Like, she really doesn't. And she's nice. She's not like my at all. She actually listens and she actually understands. And when we tell her an experience we've had, be it something we're experiencing mentally or something I'm experiencing in my life, she listens and she understands, and we talk through it. And she really listens, like really, really listens. She finds these things fascinating. And I love that, because I find these same things fascinating. Not just the things that I'm dealing with mentally, but I find the cause of them fascinating. It's like this morbid curiosity that I have. So things are going really well. Except for little Lucy and his little finger jabbed into my ribs. Just to be clear, there's nothing wrong with my ribs apart from the occasional time that they overlap and hook on each other and get stuck. Like, it's kind of like this weird dislocation thing. But my ribs and stuff are in reality okay. It's just, you know, an expression. Just in case anybody was like worried or whatever. So currently, I am living many, many blessings all at once. I have the Lord. I have this home. I have my pets. I have my family, my loved ones. The wheelchair that I need. My teeth. My new teeth. My adapted kitchen. My adapted bathroom. Peaceful, cozy home. Then the devil's jabbing me in the ribs with his finger. And I'm still dealing with the damage that was done to me in the psych ward during that 9-week stay. A lot of mental damage was done there. Like when I was doing those videos, I didn't lie or anything. It was just I had to be really careful about what I was saying because I was being watched 24/7. And if I said anything they didn't like or anything that made them feel some kind of way, I would have lost my tech, and if I lost my tech, I wouldn't have been able to be in contact with my loved ones, and if I wasn't able to be in contact with my loved ones, they'd have had full control over me. And it was a very tense time, to say the least. My friend wrote a 4-page complaint letter about the treatment that I received while I was there. I was also locked in that building for 9 weeks against my will. Pretty sure I was on an illegal hold as well. And I was locked in there with a man who helped to sex traffic me in my 20s. And I was made to take pills that blocked off certain parts of my brain, and I've not been able to draw since. They also shut off parts of my brain that were talking too much and they didn't like. And they found this and had multiple members of staff subscribe to my YouTube channel so that they could monitor what I was saying and what I was doing and what was visible on screen. There was violence towards the patient. There was my traumas from when I was sex trafficked and certain abusive situations that I nearly lost my life to. Those scenarios were replicated to traumatize me, and I was very vocal about what my trauma triggers were, and they knew exactly what they were doing. So because of all that stuff, I don't feel like I can go to my doctor. I don't feel like I can go to my GP and ask for help. I feel like all that can be done is a request of medications that are on repeat prescription. I don't feel like I can approach my doctor with a symptom. I don't feel like I can approach my doctor and say, hey, I'd like to go back on this medication, or I'd like for that medication to go back to the dose that I was on before. Or, this has been really painful lately, or I'm having this issue, or I'm having that issue, because I'm so afraid that once again they won't believe me about the symptoms that I'm experiencing and that they'll lock me up. I'm so afraid of being put back in that place with those people and those doctors and those nurses that I'm too scared to seek medical attention. And the only reason that I could seek out a private psych is because somebody that I know suggested and recommended the psych to me, because they'd had a good amount of experience with them. And that's the only reason I was able to, because they're not part of the NHS, they're not part of the health service, and they have worked in it. And when I brought up my issues with the NHS service, they've told me that that's why they left the NHS, because how people like me were treated, and because of doctors like the psych I had before, how psychs like him treat people. That's why the psych left and went private. And I'm so blessed, because the psych that I have now does discounted rates if you're really low income and stuff. And I don't know how to trust medical doctors again. And to be honest, I'm having a hard time feeling like I can trust in general. I feel very stifled. I feel like the me that I am and the me that I'm becoming are very stifled. Like I'm not allowed to grow. And that I'm not heard. And that when I am heard, I'm not taken seriously. One side gets pulled up and the other side gets pulled down. How do you get the balance? How do you make both sides okay? And I know it's probably not possible for me to do, but all things are possible with the Lord. He can do all things.